Hey, I'm Lisa,
And I'm Chris.
and we're in a cheap Vlogmas style. Today we're planning to talk about things we have planned to make for next year. The things we already know about, not just like the queue jumpers or the things that just turn your head. Do you want to go first?
I have no idea what I'm making next year.
Oh!
Perfectly honest.
No ideas at all?
I have a queue.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have like a separate list of things that I want to learn to do. And right now they're not completely in alignment. So I'm going to have to massage the queue a little bit.
Oh, you have a queue and the list.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Okay. I did not know that there. Okay.
So the queue is very amorphous. Like the queue just has like general ideas. Like I know I want to make like a duster. And I have an idea what I want to do for the duster, but right now it just says duster, right? And then I want to make this thing. I don't even know what to call it. Kind of maybe a tunic-y kind of thing. It's something like you would wear over your clothes, and it's gonna be past waist length, but it'll be open on the sides. And I actually saw something like it in the first episode of Vikings. The character Lagertha was wearing this kind of like almost sweater vesty kind of thing that I thought was cute as hell. And when I was watching the episode, like I made this little sketch of it, and I wanted to have cables, but I'm still learning how to do cables. So right now it's just, I think in my list it says something like Lagertha vest or something like that.
That style of garment is called a I'm not going to say it right. Tabard? I think it's called a tabard.
Whatever.
Where it's open on the sides. Yeah.
But yeah, I want to make one of those. So, that's the kind of BS that's on my queue.
That's not BS though. That's a very defined thought.
I still have to like design it. I'm thinking about icon for that, but I don't have any icon at the moment, so I don't know. But yeah, so the list is very amorphous. The queue is amorphous. The list is more concrete. The queue, so there's two things happening.
Oh,
there's a queue and a list.
I did not know there were two things happening for you.
And one of them is just like, ooh, colors. And then the other one is more like ready to go, but I still need to figure out, I need to match the things on the queue to the things on the list.
Why do they have to match?
Because I want to learn certain skills, and
right.
So I want to make things that
will teach you that skill.
Yeah,
give you practice. Okay, I got it.
So I have to set up like some speed dating for the queue and the list, so they can pick out who they'd like to pair with
very quickly at that.
Yes, because it's like 2 weeks till the new year, 3 weeks.
I'm having some New Year ennui. I really am.
I'm just not ready for it to get cold.
No, I'm totally ready for that. I'm so ready for it because I've been having, an ongoing allergy attack since about July.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, bring the cold, bring it all.
So what is this book you're looking through? Because you've been sitting here looking through something.
Yeah, I'm looking through the New Vogue Knitting because I did not have this project on my radar, but it just jumped up on my radar. And I'm almost positive that I saw this wrap while I was looking through the New Vogue Knitting, which, by the way, has some really cool patterns in it.
It doesn't have a, like, what do they call it? Visual glossary.
You know what? It doesn't. But it wasn't one of the official. It wasn't one of the official patterns. It was something they had an article about runway fashion and how you can draw inspiration from runway fashion into your knitting, and it sure did inspire me. But anyway, let me tell you about it because maybe it wasn't this magazine.
What is that bag? Go back.
Wow. Okay.
It caught my eye.
It surely did.
It is. It's
Oh, what
number
is that?
6.
Number 6.
We'll show you guys the bag.
Oh, it's the Knitter's Backpack. Oh, the Knitter's Backpack of Sturdy water repellent cotton duck. It sits flat and is great for travel. It's really good bag.
That's
it's number 6. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, a little bit closer to the camera.
That is very cute.
So it's that bag right there. And I like a backpack style because I like to be able to keep my hands free.
And I like that it can stand up on its own. That's pretty cool.
And is it zipperless? Because I want my project bags to be zipperless. And sometimes you see a project bag that doesn't have a zipper closure, but inside there's a zipper pocket. And I'm like, no, I still need there to not be a zipper anywhere on the inside of the bag.
From what I can tell, we'd have to get a look at the inside. But from what I can tell, it doesn't close with a zipper.
Look that up online. But anyway, we're supposed to be talking about what we're making next year. And so far, we have. So do you have a list? Because I didn't see, you don't have like your notebook or anything. And I'm like, oh, just going off the dome.
No. I have 2 projects that are coming up. I've already swatched for one. So this is my swatch.
Well, technically that's this year.
Yeah, but it's going to carry over. I mean, I'm not going to finish it before the new year. I am making the Vest Beth, and I have my fall swatch blocked and washed, and I'm very happy with the fabric. And I want to make a sweater called Heart on My Sleeve. I will have to look up who wrote the pattern. I think the person goes by the name Knitting on Top of the World or something like that. But I wanted a stripy sweater, and when I saw it, I was absolutely charmed by the little heart elbow patches that are on each sleeve. And I love that the sleeves were solid and the body of the sweater was stripy. And then I saw this woman on the news, right? I'm going to get my picture up. And I loved the striping pattern on the sweater that she was wearing. So I am going to abandon the striping pattern that comes with the pattern. And I'm going to change my stripes to something that's like what I saw on the TV. Okay, here it is. So we were watching the news. And I absolutely loved that kind of irregular striping pattern. So instead of a very regular on-off striping pattern, I'm going to go with something like that. And I particularly liked that the stripe goes over the shoulder and continues on the back. So I'm definitely like co-opting that feature. So you can find inspiration anywhere. And then I saw this wrap, and I'm going to try to remember where I saw it. But to me, it's a variation on the wedding ring shawl, where you knit a shawl that's very large, but so fine that you can pull it through a ring. And the way, they're making...
Who was doing that?
Oh, it's a traditional shawl. Yeah.
What are you making it out of?
Very, very fine wool.
Spider web?
That's what's below lace weight is called cobweb. But I do want to do a very lightweight ephemeral wrap in mohair that will have that same kind of lightness to it. And I think if you work the mohair on a large needle, I could do a basic garter stitch wrap that's going to look very airy and lacy, but it will also be super duper warm. And I think that'll be a lot of fun. I'll do a bright poppy color. So those are the first 3 things I want to make for next year.
Mm-hmm. I see. I would just never have thought of that wedding ring. I would never think after I made a shawl, like, oh, let me see if I can do the wedding ring.
Yeah, well, that was a test of the fineness of the knit, that it could be drawn through the band of a wedding ring. What did they do with the
person who made it if it didn't go through the wedding ring? Did they just point and laugh? I don't know. The wedding ring part of it is throwing me for a loop. I just gotta say.
No. They didn't point and laugh. Oh, that's terrible. That's really bad.
I'm like, why are we testing the shawl? Just wear it.
Okay. It's a
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a new one for me.
That was the test,
And I feel like I'd be a little offended if I knit a shawl for you and you had to test it. I'm like, just wear it or give it back.
No, that would be for the people buying it. It's not that you wouldn't do that to a gift. A lot of people,
I feel like that's also
who made part of their living
rude.
from knitting, they would sell to a middleman. The middleman would sell to shops and whatnot. And that would be a test of fineness. If the shawl couldn't go past through the wedding ring, it wasn't fine enough for the best shops. Oh, I see you're offended for these people.
I am. I'm just like, ooh, I feel away. Okay.
Like, I am offended.
That's how we do? All right.
So what else you got? I see you have quite the list.
I have a list. It's, what is it? It's 10 things.
Don't be scared. Share.
Well, I keep saying I want to learn intarsia.
Oh.
And I think I do.
Yeah.
I may be lying. You know what? I really want to add a colorwork technique to my skill set. It might be intarsia. I feel like...
Well, you tried mosaic.
Color, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I feel like colorwork can be a little fiddly. And you know what I like about intarsia? You don't have to work from a chart. Like, especially if you're just doing kind of like a color block or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't like working with the chart in mosaic. And so I feel like something where you don't have to do that might be more up my alley. And I'm thinking to do an intarsia duster, but then I'm thinking
that's a lot of intarsia.
That's where, because you know what? I saw a pattern in a book that was a cardigan with a lot of different color rectangles, and it was done with intarsia. And I was like, I really love that idea.
Okay.
And I actually have some yarn that I want to use for it because the yarn that I used to make the slutty cardigan, that's from Less Traveled Yarns. And so I had subscribed to her yarn club for a little while. So I have several skeins in colors that I think will all go together really nicely.
Oh, okay.
And then I want to do kind of like a main color for like all my edges and stuff. And the plan is to make an intarsia duster using that yarn specifically. And like I keep looking at the yarn, like it's sitting there, it's waiting for me. And I'm just like, I really want to make all of you skeins one coat. But
is it just like daunting because of the length of the cardigan?
And because I've never done intarsia. So I think what I want to do maybe is go through my list and practice the techniques with swatches first.
Yes. I was just going to suggest that.
And then if I don't hate the technique, then I will try making actual garments out of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, intarsia is definitely one of the things. Like it's literally written down on a list that I want to learn next year. What are you trying to learn?
For next year, I really want to focus on garments.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to make, like the next sweater I'm planning is a set-in sleeve. And I haven't done a set-in sleeve style. So I did a raglan. I'm going to do a set-in sleeve. I want to do a drop shoulder.
I hate sewing in set-in sleeves. They're like the worst. Not to discourage you. You might not hate it as much as I do. But I've done a set-in sleeve, I think, once. And I never did it again. I do all my sweaters drop shoulder. All the ones I design are drop shoulder because the sewing can get really tricky, but I do want to just get more comfortable with that as well. But drop shoulders fine for me.
What I really want to do is over the course of the year do all the sleeve types and then determine which one I like best.
Yeah,
because some things are better for you, at least for as the person working it, than others. It's just like I discovered making this Fair Isle sweater that I really do not like being chained to a chart. I think I'm going to try more Fair Isle, but I'm going to try more traditional Fair Isle in that it's regular patterns that you can, work from the work.
Yeah, because that tree,
that forest is a regular AF, okay?
Yeah.
So every line is different. and they're not all intuitive. So it's not like, oh, well, it was dark the last row. It'll be light this row. No, sir. But it's not that I don't like the sweater. I do like the sweater. I'm going to love wearing it. But it's teaching me what I like to do. And I like that I have the skill to do it, but I didn't pick that for learning a skill, except it turned out I did learn how to do ladder back jacquard. But I'm glad I had access to that technique, because the bottom of that thing would pull in for me at least. Yeah. So that's really what I'm going to be working on. I'm going to be working on making fitted garments and working on sleeves in particular. And I want to do a sweater or two that's completely pieced, where I make all the pieces and then sew them together. I've been doing, form the body in one piece type of things. Matter of fact, the next thing I'm doing, the vest, it's half in the round and half flat. So
that seems to come up a lot in knitting. That's unusual.
You would think.
I don't know that I've come across a crochet pattern.
You know what? I'm working it from the bottom up, so I have to split for the sleeve. And once I split for the sleeve,
okay,
I'm working in rows.
Yeah,
rounds. So it's not just that the designers are torturing us. It's just the physical nature of the thing. And I'm going to say this, but I don't know if it's going to come to pass. I do have 2 fantasy projects, and they are strictly in the realm of fantasy. I think I would like to make a dress.
Oh, make a dress.
And I would love to make a coat.
Boop-de-doop, make a dress. I'm like, why is this in the realm of fantasy?
Because knitting takes longer than crochet.
You can use a larger gauge. Because even in a larger gauge, you're going to get a finer fabric than you would if you use that same, needle and that same hook and yarn size in crochet. So you can use a gauge large enough to make it go faster. And, making a fitted dress, because I made a flared dress. And if you make a fitted dress, it takes less time, less yarn. Way less yarn. Than doing anything with a flared skirt.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on doing it. If I did do it, it would have a fairly straight body.
Yeah, you know what? You could do one that's like almost like a boxy tee, but just long.
Yeah.
And that would be super cute. And then you wouldn't even have to do any shaping.
I would base it on ones I already have. Because, I buy knit dresses all the time. I love a knit dress.
Make a dress.
I wear them all winter long.
She's going to make a dress next year.
I don't know. That's not a fact yet. That's not a fact yet. And I definitely want to make some things for warm weather. I want to make a couple of t-shirts or a tank. I want to
be able to get ahead of the warm weather and start making my things like February, March.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of looking at, because what I want to do is the sweaters I have planned now, I want them finished. I want to have had them finished by early March, the latest, and I want to use the spring to knit in silk or a nice linen blend. Remember chai?
Oh yeah, I have an idea for chai.
I would definitely like to do something in chai, like a cute spring twin set, so a tank top and a short fitted cardigan. And that's not in the realm of fantasy. The dress, I don't know.
My dress is like in the realm of fantasy. We're gonna snatch it from the realm of fantasy, and we're gonna put it on the queue.
It's really in the realm of fantasy, because I would love to do a dress and matching coat. I'm like, see you.
I don't see that as a problem. Chad, we're gonna get on that.
So what else on the list, Crystal? I know there's something else.
True thing.
Come on, tell it.
I would like to, I think, learn Irish lace.
Dun dun dun.
I've seen, people do it on YouTube, and It's really pretty. And I can think of all the ways that I would use it to just like adorn my sweaters and things. And I think it would be really nice. But again, like the gauge you're working at is incredibly fine. And there's like an extreme amount of shaping, I think, to make those complex designs. And I just don't know if I'm there yet.
I just saw somebody do an Irish lace project, and the few times I've seen people in process on Irish lace, it looks like you do tiny motifs and join them up together rather than doing super complex shaping. It's like
it depends, because like if you're doing like, because I've seen people do like 3-dimensional flowers.
Yeah, I've seen that too. That's some pay attention crochet right there.
So I don't know. I'm gonna look for. I don't know what beginner Irish lace looks like, but I'm gonna try to see if that's a thing.
Yeah, and have you checked with the Leisure Arts people?
I haven't.
They have a lot of good beginner books.
I haven't, but I'm gonna. I'm thinking.
Wow, I'm bowing down because that's some ambitious mess right there.
I took the list. The list is wild. The list, yeah.
Yeah, you go, girl. You get that Irish lace.
I think those are like the hardest things on my list. The intarsia and the Irish lace. But it's like I have this idea of like I want to be like this fearless crocheter who can just like whip up anything I want. And so I have to have like
a worthy goal.
These skills in my tool bag.
Mm-hmm. That is a worthy goal.
So I'm working on that. Yeah.
All right. I wasn't gonna say this, but I'm gonna say it now because you have empowered me. I'm just gonna tell you, you inspired and empowered me right now. I want to do some embroidery on my knits.
Yeah.
As a surface decoration.
I have surface crochet on my list. In fact, I have a pattern, and it involves very little surface crochet, so it would just be a way to like learn the technique because it's like a plaid dress.
Yeah. And
so to do some of the vertical lines, it involves
add it later. Yeah.
Yeah, and
ooh la la.
That's on the list. That's on the list.
Okay.
Should we post our list on the blog?
Sure. Sure.
You know what? Because
I feel like concrete.
Yes, I think we should do like an accountability thing and kind of keep track of like the skills that we're adding. So maybe
oh my gosh,
we'll do like a blog post.
That made me sweat a little.
Lisa's learning list and Chris's learning list, and we can check off and like throughout the year we'll do updates on the skills we've learned.
And that just came right off the dome, didn't it?
Did. I said maybe no, we can do that.
We should do it. It's just scary. It's just scary.
Right. I feel like it will motivate me to like, I don't like embarrassing myself. So I feel like once I say it, if I don't do it, I'm going to embarrass myself. So I feel like if I put it online, I'm going to be like, I done told all these people that I was going to do Irish lace. So I think I need to do some Irish lace.
I think even if you do just a little of it, and that's the thing though, sometimes I know I've done this. I have gotten myself embroiled in patterns that it had too many skills that I would need to learn in order to complete it. And what I had to learn was to boil things down. And if I'm going to take something on that I've never done before, take on that one thing.
Because I see patterns where people say, "Oh, this is for an intermediate crocheter or an adventurous beginner." I'm like, "What is that?" She's an adventurous beginner.
Yeah,
and she'll be like, "Yeah, I can do that."
Adventurous sounds really cool. I just don't know what I don't know. I'm just like, I know so little.
Yeah, I can do Estonian lace with my twisted stitches.
Know what I don't know, and that does not always work out. You learn something every time, even if it's just like, yeah, you can't do that yet. You don't even understand what they're trying to tell you. But yeah, I think if you take on, like you're going to take on that Irish lace, start with something real small. An edging maybe. something small so that you can just kind of get the fine points. I'll see what I can find in terms of resources for you. That'll be interesting to look around and see.
Oh, Lord. Now she's invested. She's like, oh, you're going to do some Irish lace. That's a bad thing.
The other thing I want to do is create some good body models for myself so that I can kind of visualize things on me. You know, I have to actually ask you or mom to help me measure myself because I want to do, there's a program called My Body Model, and you put in your actual measurements like all over. And I mean, even the length of your neck, I thought that was like really kind of cool. And then it will generate a little silhouette of you so that if you want to just kind of visualize, okay, how is this going to look on your own body? You won't have to spend so much time looking through Ravelry for somebody who kind of resembles you. But then you can just draw on whatever the garment is. And not that I'm claiming to be some kind of fabulous artist. I am not. My silhouette drawings are going to be very rudimentary. But a rudimentary silhouette drawing is better than, nothing at all. Oh, and I got to ask you, where did you find those stencils?
Amazon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Amazon.
Are you going to share some of your drawings with us?
No. Because I need the space to do ugly drawings. And if I have to show them to people, I'll be so intimidated, it'll keep me from drawing.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to have to have my ugly sketches in private.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to share my sketches and they're going to be ugly. Okay? They're not going to be, fancy fashion drawings that people will buy and hang on the wall. It's just going to be a visualization tool. And I'm going to encourage everybody. Draw to visualize. It's like I want to do that stripy sweater, right? So one of the things I'm going to do before I start knitting any swatches is I'm going to draw the swatches and just play with the proportion of color on paper because that's faster than swatching. And when I've gotten down to like maybe 2 candidates, I will do 2 swatches or 3 swatches of the different striping patterns that I'm going to be doing just to get... Oh, you know what? I don't want to do the heart. I don't want to do the garter stitch heart that she has as a thing. I would love for you or mom to crochet me a pair of hearts.
Oh, no. See, the last time someone asked us to crochet hearts. Oh, no. I'm telling you now, I didn't do it then.
I don't need 13 hearts. I don't need 13 hearts.
Okay, we're gonna tell a story. So we're all crocheters to some degree, and so when we were younger, our other sister decided she was gonna make this strip blanket, and so it was these wide strips that had like a chain of hearts going down the center of each strip, and she'd actually had this little tote bag that she sewed. And she kept her yarn in there, and she'd like wear the tote bag, and she'd crochet from it. And so she's made, because you made all the hearts individually, and then you stitch them together. And she needed 65 hearts.
Oh, that's right.
And when she started, she realized she didn't want to do 65 hearts. So now there's 5 people in the house, and we all crochet. And so she decides, well, you know what? If each of us just does 13 hearts, she can make a blanket. And that didn't work out well. No. But I was thinking about that the other day because I was just like, how funny is it that every person in the family could have made 13 hearts if we wanted to? I don't know if that happens in every household. Yeah. Where like everyone knows how to make crochet hearts. So it just struck me that we're maybe a slightly unusual family. But so no.
All I would need is 2.
I know.
You gonna make me crochet it myself?
Yes.
So mean. So mean.
Oh, she never finished the blanket.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She got tired of
she got mad me told the story. But it came up quite naturally.
It did. Yeah. It wasn't planned. And you know what? I'm going to find that shawl right after we're done.
Because
I'm still looking for it. But I saw it and it just stuck in my mind. And it's going to have to be some bright, refreshing color. And it wasn't even a knitting pattern, by the way. It was like in the fashion article. And I think somebody was selling them. And they're apparently all the rage. and they're super duper light, and it made me think of the wedding ring shawls, and I was like, oh, I can do that. And they're super plain too.
I need to take a look. I kind of want to design a shawl, but as soon as I think about it, I get decision paralysis. As soon as I try to figure out, well, what shape would I like my shawl to be, I'm done.
Oh no.
Do I want full circle or half circle or asymmetric triangle or equilateral triangle or rectangle, or I can't even decide on a shape. So I have not designed a shawl yet. And you would think that someone who can design sweaters can design a shawl. You would think.
You can do it, I believe.
So I think one of my goals is to just hunker down and make all of the decisions required in order to finally design a shawl. But we'll see.
You can do it.
In theory.
Why don't you go look at the shawls that you wear all the time and see which ones you actually
They're
wear
all
the most?
different. I wear them all.
But to me, you wear this kind of shape the most. No. Either in variations, but it's like an asymmetric.
My purple one. No, because this is just rectangle. This just.
See, I thought it was an extra.
It just has the flowers hanging down from it. And then, my big purple one that I love, that's, equilateral triangle. And then I have the little Shawlettes, which are just kind of this weird wedge shape. I'm all over the place. Oh, well, that's why I'm having such an issue.
Wow, then. You might have to make multiple shawls.
I think so.
Yes.
And then that's where I go. And then I'm like, oh, if I can't make decisions about one shawl.
No. All you have to do is decide which one to do first.
She says that like it's so easy. You done heard about the queue and the list. What makes you think I can make these kinds of decisions?
See, that's why I don't codify it either. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, no, I feel like I finally need to just write it down and have it to look at so that I can finally just focus and like, okay, I'm going to pick this thing and I'm going to do this thing. And so I don't know that this particular video was very useful for anyone, because what you see is that there's just like this amorphous haze of ideas that, floats over our heads, and we're trying to learn to just pluck one thing out of the haze. Well,
like I said, I know my first two things. I got that vest started actually because I'm swatching, and I've been obsessed with that stripy sweater ever since I saw it. So I know I'm making a stripy sweater, whether or not someone will help me with the hearts.
I don't see that in your future.
Little hearts.
Why don't you just do them garter stitch?
Because in my mind, I see a kind of lacy filigree crochet heart. That's what I see. Good luck with that. Thank you.
Well, that's just some of what we're thinking about.
But you know what? It is okay. And I think we need to give people permission to change whatever you like to change on a pattern. Because that pattern, I love the idea, but I have my own idea about how to make that idea work. And I think it's totally okay to have your own idea about how to make the idea work. So I think that's one of the permissions we want to give people. Feel free to change it up.
I feel like, we should start wrapping up because we went on a long time about how Chickabay all our plans are.
Alrighty then.
So we're going to stop because we could do this all day.
Yeah.
We might need to do a part 2 of this video.
Vlogmas! Happy Vlogmas! I've been forgetting to shout Vlogmas.
And I've been forgetting to tell people that our mommy would like you to like and subscribe.
So, yes, please do. And share with a friend. I do have one question for you. Please tell us in the comments. What are your plans for making for next year? I'd love to hear about it.
Dum, dum, dum.
Have a good day, everybody.